joyful hello to all of you. My name is Minku Bhutar, founder of the Circle of Joy that brings you self-mastery programs and retreats. It gives me great joy to bring to you this season's talk show, a series of interviews on choosing joy, secrets, and stories from all over the world. It is my diligent attempt to show you that joy is not a hockey-pocky, frivolous concept, but a discipline, a way of life much needed. If you want to be resilient, radiant, and unstoppable like a runaway train. So subscribe to my channel so that you can tap into the wisdom of people from all over the world. I will see you there.
Hello, everyone, to all you lovely souls in different parts of the world. Now, let's start this episode with a story today, because we all love stories. So hear this. It's 1950, and Dr. Kurt Richter is conducting a brutal study at Harvard. He's testing resilience of rats by placing them in a pool of water to test how long they tread, they paddle in water, and he notices that they last about 15 minutes before exhaustion sets in. But he's not that brutal. Not that brutal, because right before they give up due to exhaustion, his researchers pluck them out, dry them off, let them rest for a few minutes, and then they put them back in for a second round. And this time, how long do you think they lasted? 15, 10, 5? No. This time they lasted for more than 60 minutes to even a few hours. So what was the conclusion? That the rats believed and had hope of being rescued. Hence, they pushed their bodies way past what they thought was impossible before. So as we indulge in a beautiful conversation with my very, very dear guest speaker today, I want you all to think of what belief and hope in your own abilities can do for you. So namaste. As you all know by now, we are on our 23rd episode. My name is Minku Bhutar, your host from India, and I'm delighted to welcome you back to the 23rd episode of this talk show. And if you want to catch the wisdom of my speakers on the 1st and 15th, like, subscribe, and press the bell icon. Now, a little bit about my guest speaker, who is a passionate people connector and a life ambassador. She is also director, business development, Metisentry, contributing author to the book Mayhem to Miracles. She's a featured contributor for BIZCATALYST 360. In fact, that's where our soulful conversations and association started. She has such a diverse background in nonprofits in manufacturing and professional services, with leadership roles in marketing and sales and human resources. So please join me to welcome my very special guest speaker all the way from USA, Laura Gray. Laura, welcome.
Hi, Miku. Thanks for having me this morning. So good to see you.
Thank you for being up and about. And I know you're an early morning person, but still, to get all your mindset going for an interview like this. So thank you. I am so glad we're doing this, or rather being this. We've always talked about being.
Yeah, you know what? I like that. I like that. We have decided to share an energy and be present with each other this morning. And I want to say, after that story, I'm suddenly have more empathy for rats than I've ever had before.
I know. I sometimes wonder, Laura, why they are the chosen ones, and it could be penguins, and it could. I know rabbits are, but seriously, but seriously, Laura, what did you think of that rat story? Do you personally think that hope is a great rescuer and it's a great uplifter when everything in life is bringing the walls down on you? What do you think?
Yeah, so what's interesting, as you were sharing that story, that I wasn't expecting. So like I said, I felt an empathy in a way, because I am not able to swim. I never learned how to swim. So as you were
Right.
telling that story, I really felt for these rats in this experiment. And that being said, I believe we create hope. We choose hope. And hope truly comes from within, from the heart. I believe it's an extension of our heart. And it is something that we grow and create within ourselves.
That's beautiful. And you know, they always say, while there is life, there is hope. But I really always thought it should read the other way around, that while there is hope, there is life, right?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And again, I just think for me, it comes down to choices and what you choose to see. You know, if you wake up and see the clouds, or you wake up and see the sun, it kind of becomes your choice. But I like the fact that it comes down to your choice, because what it does is put the control and the ownership within us, which is why we're here, to experience this lifetime.
That's a good one. I like that. It comes down to the choices. And, you know, when you talk about choices, Laura, what comes to my heart is, and to my mind, you said heart, so I said heart, that staying rooted in optimism is also a choice, because it helps you not lose heart, and it helps you face those intimidating and less than ideal situations of the unknown. Laura, but still, do you realize that some of us slip so easily into this pessimistic zone? We have a choice, right, of the optimism and the pessimism. But why do you think it is? Why do you think people so easily slip into the pessimistic zone? What do you think?
Great question. I think that, and again, this is just what I think, that people, myself included, because, this is judgment free between, you and I and others. So I believe that people fall into or choose pessimism because of the fear that they may feel of the unknown. Therefore, they go to what's the worst thing that could happen. And once they say that and identify it, they become comfortable with it. So my point is, they become more comfortable in the fear that they've created of an outcome, as opposed to the potential, not the fear, the potential of the unknown. And every day is unknown. Every day is a white page. So, I literally look over at my nightstand at my 64 box of crayons, which I do have, and I pull one out and I choose to color my day.
Wow. Oh, that's beautiful, de-stressor. I mean, I'm an artist, and thank you for reminding me, Laura. And I think I need to pull out my crayons. That is so beautiful. So are you saying that by that coloring and the doodling, it keeps you in the optimistic zone where you're fueling the positivity? Does that help?
It does. For sure. For me, it does. And actually, I'm a creative, but I'm not an artist, in the sense that I literally have a stack of coloring books on my nightstand, so that before bed, I color. And it does keep my creativity and my mind open as I fall to sleep. I have not watched TV in 2 years. I do not have a television in my house. So the energy that I rely on is the energy of the universe and my creative energy that comes from within me.
That is so beautiful, Laura. How inspiring is that?
And it's just a choice, but these are my choices. I'm not, again, saying, well, I don't know why more people don't do it. I mean, and it's been a recent choice of mine, because we're all evolving and learning and growing.
Yeah. But I love what you said, Laura, that there's the fear of the unknown, and there's this comfort zone in just staying with what you think. It might look like pessimism. I mean, it might look like someone's being pessimistic, but it's that comfort zone of not trying your abilities or going beyond and exploring potentials. I really like that. And I think that is something for all of us to consider, because end of the day, Laura, we're all hoping for something better in life, right?
Right.
So
right.
if I took that, Laura, I think that the real expression of hope is actually faith. And I'm not saying faith as in religion, but faith as in the belief that you captured, saying it thrives in the heart. So, Laura, I want to ask you, how has faith and hope worked for you in life? And is there any specific incidents that you would like to share with our audience today?
Sure. Yeah. And for me, kind of like you, I also run a self-esteem program for kids called iPride, which I started in 2015.
Yeah.
And we have two workshops. There's iPride Right and iPride Fit. And part of the iPride Fit that I tell the children, you know, your heart is your biggest muscle. And they all kind of look at me, they're all confused, you know, and so I encourage them, out of your heart, because we strengthen our muscles. So out of the heart, to me, comes hope and faith. So that being said, to answer your question, as a small child, for many years, I experienced a severe trauma and very severe trauma regarding sexual abuse. And I know I was born, I think we all are, with hope and faith in our heart. And sometimes we are presented with trauma or lessons or obstacles that we need to choose to go inward to tap into that energy, as opposed to external. You know, there are external methods that people use to cope. In my case, as a small child, I was fortunate to faith, which enabled me to heal and become a healthy, strong adult and a loving mother to my three sons.
That's amazing. Yeah. Faith is beautiful, and faith also works with healing, doesn't it, Laura? I mean, that's pretty much what you have done. Would you like to share a little bit about your path into this healing zone that hope and faith has helped you?
Yeah, and it has been, I know, and people use this word a lot, but it has been a journey, and we all have our journeys. And I think more so than ever, it's just important that we honor each other's journey, as opposed to shining a light at somebody's journey and judging it. It's like, when I shine my light on your journey to make a judgment, then I'm going to trip, because I just used my energy and my light to shame you. So I think for me, and it's really been more so in recent years, that I've learned that really my answers are inward. And I think that's why I've more recently, in the last few years, you know, turn the TV off and try to connect deeper to myself, because it is through my deep self connection which allows me to be more present and more authentic to others.
Beautiful. And you know, life has no guarantees, it has no certainties. And like you said, you act in faith, and it's you know, faith. I read somewhere, I don't know if it's the Bible, but I know that all scripts say it without specifically pointing out to one, that even the size of a mustard seed will move a mountain, right? So what a wonderful world of possibilities if you can just stay with hope and faith. Yeah. And
because I believe that's powerful, because and true, because if you look around, and if you choose to see, that's the stuff that is going on every day. That's the stuff. So part of when you're asking me about my healing, I'm making conscious choices to focus on good. And then the more good I see, the more goodness grows. And I feel it. And it's like I spend my days focusing on the good, scattering seeds of goodness and love. And then I turn around at the end of the day, and I'm like, that's a beautiful garden. I color and I go to sleep.
That is so beautiful. I can almost smell the roses in your garden, Laura.
Right, right.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
That's not to say I'm not realistic. I mean, I don't want it to come across saying like, wow, she's really checked out and not living in the real world. What is the real world? And who defines it? Because guess what? It is my world. I was born into this world for this experience, and it's my path and my journey, my choice.
And I think taking onus and responsibility on how you live it out. And very recently, Laura, I keep thinking, what is our purpose? You know, so before we find the purpose, we have to go towards healing the traumas per se. And so can I be just very curious? And if you don't mind, would you want to share what is a normal practice for you, a spiritual practice that's helped you stay rooted in faith and hope?
Yeah, of course. Well, a couple of things. Number one, I would say is gratitude. And again, there's two things that stand out: gratitude and loving myself. And years ago, one of my sisters, I have 5 sisters and 2 brothers,
Wow.
and I'm the youngest. I'm the youngest.
Okay.
So one of my sisters had said something to me about loving myself. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a good person. She said, no, do you love yourself? So that kind of got me thinking, do I love myself? So that's a hardcore look in the mirror. So that's more inward focused and being authentic and honest, going, well, you're not that good. So anyways, took me down that path. I would say gratitude is another one. You know, I've always felt, yeah, I'm grateful. Oh, and this is great. No, I mean, truly, I start off the day very early with a gratitude meditation, and I finish the day with a gratitude meditation. Therefore, my day, and this is what I talk to the children about, is framed in gratefulness. So that being said, the other part of my day, and you mentioned the word rooted, is that I'm in nature every day. I'm in nature. Sometimes it's just my backyard, but I literally go heart to bark. And I'm a tree hugger. Oh, yeah, guess what? I am. Because the nature is 100% imperfect and natural beauty. And what better way to ignite the energy in my heart
than hugging trees? I mean, that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also, I think, you know, as mindful practitioner, I always say connection, you know, just walk bare feet, connect every step that you take, feel the weight of your leg. I love hugging trees. Laura, in fact, on my YouTube, there is a beautiful tree meditation. If you ever get a chance, you know, have
my goodness. You know, I'm going to do that today, and I will let you know. I will let you know.
Beautiful, beautiful. It's helped a lot of people, and I know someone who has left a testimony on LinkedIn saying he's heard it 100 times.
Oh, yes.
So
thank you for that.
Yes, I just wanted to share that because the thought came up. Now, taking this a notch higher in a little different direction, we're talking about hope, we're talking about faith. I mean, faith is the reason, and hope actually is the reason that we even decide to have children, because you don't know what kind of life an infant can have, and yet we have hope, right, for our children. So here's the thought. So while having great faith does not mean miracles happen, but it's also true, Laura, the other way, that miracles strengthen faith, right? You know, that faith that says, oh, this is not just luck, or this is not just coincidence that providence intervened. So have you had brush with miracles, Laura? Have you
Oh,
seen the
yeah.
work of an unseen hand? Love to hear about it.
Yeah. You know what? For sure. I think I have in many ways, and
Mhm.
probably some of those ways I didn't even realize.
Right.
But I will say that, March of 2021,
Mhm.
I actually donated one of my kidneys to a woman. And yeah, so I
Bless
am
you.
a living kidney donor,
Oh my
alive and well.
goodness.
And the really, really great news is she is also alive and well. The miracle aspect of it, well, first of all, yeah, that we're both alive and well. I consider that to be a miracle. But that I was the only one tested
Mhm.
to match her, and I was her 100% match.
What are the
Um,
chances? What are the
it's rare,
chances?
and I'm not, we're not related.
Wow.
So, and people have asked, so yeah, the surgery, although I call it the transfer of life, surgery is such a hardcore medical word.
Yeah.
So I call it the transfer of life, because that's truly what went on. And that occurred March 9th of 2021. And I happened to be discharged on March 11th, which was World Kidney Day.
Oh,
So it was kind of an
un-
anointing of the
un-
entire situation. And
yes.
people, of course, have asked, and even the surgeons, if I had any fear. And I said, no. I just had this divine sense pass through me that I was chosen. I was chosen to save her life. I mean,
Mm,
oh
mhm.
my gosh. So I was grateful for that. I was incredibly grateful, as were my sons.
Oh, that is so beautiful. Bless you, Laura. I mean, who does that? You're just an amazing,
Well, I did.
amazing soul. Literally. I mean, who does that? And I know, bless you in your magnanimity, in your big heart, in your wonderful kidney. This is just so amazing because, like you said, the chosen one. But tell me, Laura, just let's stay with this a little bit more. What was that spark? What did that moment feel like when you said, yes, I'm going to do this? What was
Well,
happening there?
actually, it wasn't a conscious thought. And I say that because I happened to, I knew her. Our children went to school together.
Right.
And I knew she had been ill, but I didn't know
Mhm.
how or why. But we happened to be sitting next to each other at a graduation party. And she turned to me and said, will you pray for me that I get put on the transplant list? And I literally heard my voice say, oh, of course I'll pray for you. And when, I didn't say if, I said, and when you get put on the list,
Mhm.
let me know and I'll get tested to see if I'm a match.
Oh my
And honestly, Minku, I heard it was the sound of my voice, but the words were divine.
God.
And then I walked, she goes, are you serious? And I said, yeah. And I got up and I walked away. A few months later, she said, hey, I got put on the list. And I said, let's go. And I was the only one tested, 100% her match. And she now has a life extension of 25 to 30 years. So, I mean, are you kidding? What a
Oh
blessing.
God, oh my God. And really, it takes us back, Laura, to the fact that look at her hope and belief that this miracle for her will unfold. And of course,
Yes.
it just happens to be in the form of you, especially.
Right.
Something comes to my mind that I want to share, Laura. In India, they believe that there's this touchdown and there is this payoff that we do when we are trying to clear our karmas. So it's almost as if the biggest baggage for whatever you owed this wonderful soul has been taken off.
Yes. Like a soul contract.
Yes, yes. And
And
you've just signed off a major one. That is just so, so awesome.
right. I felt in my heart that I was born with her kidney
Oh,
and it was time to give it back.
that's incredible thought.
Mhm.
And it does not come, like you said, with a conscious mindset.
It didn't.
It is a download. You
No,
literally have that unconscious heart.
that's
It comes
right.
from the heart, not the mind. It comes from the unconscious, not the conscious. So I know exactly what you're saying. Thank you so, so, so much for being so authentic and the wonderful you that you
Oh,
are,
thank you.
Laura.
Thank you. It's always good to see you.
Always, always, soul sisters. I mean, literally, from the time that we've connected. Now, Laura, before we go to the rapid fire round, there's one other thing that I really want to ask, and this is for the benefit of listeners. Since you bring so much of wisdom and you're connected with your intuition, what comes to you right now? How may all of us find a deeper meaning of life, so that we may dream, we may think, we may work? Would you want to share a little bit?
Sure. And it is different for everybody. And I also think we should honor baby steps, because I'm still learning, growing, evolving with respect to that. But I think we start in stillness, and I'm telling you, it's the going inward. And when I first tried this or started this, my head was like, well, you need to throw the laundry in. The dog needs to be let out, so you do have what they call the monkey mind, or all these
Yes,
voices in my head saying,
right.
do this, do that. So even if you just start small and maybe do some breath work, there's plenty of videos on YouTube that you can follow along with, but give yourself grace. Give
Yeah.
yourself grace, so we can choose to go, wow, life is hard. Life is hard. But what if we say, life is good and life is challenging and I'm learning a lot? So it's almost the same, but the messaging got flipped. So
Yes.
therefore my energy was elevated.
Beautiful. That is so beautiful. Thank you, Laura, for that deeper meaning of life. If only we could stay rooted, coming back to that positivity and optimism. And thank you, Laura, for being so authentic and sharing, because I sometimes feel in this talk show, I have actually gotten feedbacks every once in a while. Okay, not all the time, but sometimes someone will reach out to me and leave me a message saying, thank you. But that message from that speaker landed so beautiful in my heart. And I think that just for me is gratitude. For me,
and one person.
That's all you need.
Yes, if this conversation impacts one person, how beautiful is that? How beautiful.
Yes, I think it's just amazing. And I love what Thich Nhat Hanh, the Vietnamese monk, he said, he talks about hope, he talks about faith, he talks about healing. And he had said this beautifully, which I love. He said, hope is not a dream, but a way of making dreams become a reality.
Oh, that is beautiful.
So if you stay connected mindfully of your reality, I think it's beautiful. So Laura, on that note, let's get into a lighter mood and let's get into the rapid fire round. So I invite Joy, which you always, I catch that in you all the time. So light, quirky, spontaneous answers. And with your permission, should I go into the first one?
Absolutely.
Okay. What brings a smile on your lips and joy in your heart?
My sons and nature.
Beautiful. One spiritual practice that you will never let go of?
Hiking in the woods.
Yeah. Hiking in the woods. Beautiful. Again, back to nature and the essence of the elements that we are made of. Thank you. Your spirit animal, if you have one?
A barred owl who actually came to visit me in my driveway, January 4th, 2021.
Oh my God, how do you even remember these dates, Laura?
Well, that's a whole other conversation for us.
We should talk about blueprints on our mind another time. That is beautiful. And oh, wow. So your intention in life is, very briefly,
to each day become a better version of myself and to learn more about why I'm here.
That's beautiful. The last question for you coming up. The place on globe you want to retire in?
Oh, wow. Somewhere in the woods.
Okay, any woods that you connect to? Have you seen?
I have them in my mind. I am not quite sure where I will land, but the vision is there.
Oh, that's beautiful. And may the universe be listening, Laura, and make that come true for you. Thank you, Laura. That was the
Thank
last
you.
question. How did that feel?
Thank you, Minku. Thank you so much. That was fun, those questions. Thank you.
I like these because they're spontaneous and
Oh, yeah.
no one knows what's going to come up. And sometimes my guest speakers have said to me, oh, wonderful, that sparked a thought that we can sit at with after the show. Now, before we say bye to our wonderful, loving, supportive audience, where can they find you, Laura?
Well, I am on LinkedIn, Laura Gray, Gray. Feel free to reach out and connect to me there. Or the website for my self-esteem program is ipride.net.
Wonderful. So that you can connect to Laura, and it's definitely not for kidneys because
No.
she's
No
done,
more.
she's done in this lifetime.
One and done.
Okay, so I close this episode with a thought for all of you that while the world is full of ugliness and brutality and injustices, keep that faith, keep that tenderness and kindness alive in yourself so that you become that water that quenches those parched souls. So join me, Laura, in saying bye to all our audience.
Goodbye, and thank you so much.
And I shall see you all in the next episode. Bye for now. Much love.